Hi, welcome to TNT. Well, today we've got smoked bats, a bit of a media beat-up regarding the Prime Minister, and also we've got the ASEAN summit in motion in Cambodia as we speak. Also want to acknowledge that it's Remembrance Day today, the 11th of the 11th, as we remember the end of World War I and also remember those that served to protect us. It's often commemorated around Commonwealth countries around the world, lest we forget. And thank you for joining us on our final program this week. Now, we will be around tomorrow for our live program. That'll be at 9 a.m. Thai time, as long as everything goes to plan, which it rarely does, but we'll do our best. In the meantime, plenty to talk about today on Remembrance Day 2022. And we start with the news from Thai PBS World that Vladimir Putin will not be attending the Apec leaders meeting. The Russian embassy informed the Thai Foreign Ministry that Mr. Putin will not attend the upcoming Apec leaders meeting on November the 18th and 19th. And apparently the war in Ukraine, which Russia started, is, however, consuming his time, making it impossible for him to attend. So that puts an end to speculation as to whether the Russian president will be attending or not. For the ASEAN-related summits in Phnom Penh and the G20 summit in Bali, the Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will represent Putin. Both summits have invited representatives of Ukraine as guests of the hosts. The Ukraine Foreign Minister will take part in the two summits. In Phnom Penh, he will sign the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation along with Spain. So the ASEAN meeting is actually on at the moment. The summit being held in Phnom Penh. It started yesterday. And in related news, the Korean Prime Minister will represent the President of South Korea at the Apec meeting in Bangkok. To our next story today, and a bit more APEC news, the Thai PBS World also reports Bangkok road closures for APEC leaders' motorcade protection skills. So this started yesterday and it will be going on at least through this morning, maybe into this afternoon. So people living in Bangkok, this is sort of for you. Numerous roads in Bangkok will be closed late afternoon. That was yesterday and today as the Metropolitan Police and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs conduct a second drill for APEC leaders' motorcade police escorts in preparation for the meeting next week. Now, for a lot of you, this may have nothing to do with what you're doing, so what I'll do is I'll bring up the two screen grabs. For people living in Bangkok, you can zoom in and read if it's going to affect you. So here's the first one. This is roads that will be closed, and the roads closed from last night until this morning. And then we've got additional closures and recommended alternative roads during the closures. And you need to be aware that during the APEC meeting, looks like those roads will be the ones most affected. So the warning is out. By the way, they are making it a public holiday on the 18th and the 19th of November in Bangkok and a couple of the surrounding provinces. So they're trying to get rid of some of the overt traffic in Bangkok anyway. It'll be a good look for the dignitaries as they move around the city. And of course, it will make it a lot easier to get the motorcades to the Queen Sirikit Convention Centre. To the next story, and with a hug and praise, Prayut and Hun Sen meet for the first time in 3 years. The Prime Minister of Thailand and Cambodia praised closer bilateral ties and cooperation, as well as increased trade between the two countries. So this is the Thai and the Cambodian Prime Minister meeting at the ASEAN summit for the first time. Cambodia is the chair, and I loved what they had to say. It was meaningful and it was detailed. Here we go. The Thai Prime Minister thanked Hun Sen for his full support and attention, which has led to a strong partnership for mutual benefits. Wow. And then Hun Sen praised closer ties and cooperation between the two countries. He also said Cambodia was prepared to work with Thailand in further boosting bilateral and multilateral cooperation. I don't want to be rude, but really they've dug up the PR releases from the two countries over the last 10 years and just spat it out. Indeed, it would be great to go back and actually read if they said anything different. We do have some detail. Prayut also suggested that both countries cooperate more in the digital economy and finance, as well as science and technology. So there you go. The Thai PM also thanked Hun Sen for the Cambodian authorities' assistance in cracking down on call centre scam gangs operating from Cambodia. Well, that is an issue, actually quite a big issue, and good to see at least one substantive comment come out from that meeting yesterday between the Thai and Cambodian PMs, and that was reported in nationthailand.com. From the Bangkok Post, and speaking of the Prime Minister, apparently he will join a new party, and Prayut to receive an image makeover. Wow, that looks like big news from the Bangkok Post, but let's read a little bit further. PM Prayut Chan-o-cha is being courted to join the newly established Ruam Thai Sangchat Party after the Apec meeting wraps up this month. The source said efforts are being made to approach General Prayut. We're confident the Prime Minister will join the party after the conclusion of Apec. So in other words, they haven't even spoken to him. So this is a bit of a beat-up story. Let's read further. His military image will take a back seat to his prominent role as a politician. We're also confident the party's popularity will increase if he joins us. Well, that's wishful thinking, isn't it? Moreover, some MPs from other coalition parties, including the Democrats and the ruling Palang Pracharat Party, are also expected to follow in General Prayut's footsteps and switch over to the new party. So we are in this season as we have the de facto election campaign for 2023, where the phones are running hot and the politicians are shuffling for position. I think what we're going to see on the conservative side of Thai politics is that the Bumjai Thai Party will sort of emerge as a force, and this new party is trying to place itself as perhaps a bit of a balancing act to attract conservative MPs on that side of politics. But as I've said all along, I still expect the opposition parties, the Move Forward Party and the Pheu Thai, to probably pull more than 51% of the vote. That is a long way from happening, though. We've still got until probably May next year until we get the next election. Just noting there, the Palang Pracharat nominated General Prayut as its outsider candidate for Prime Minister. The General Prayut is not a member of the Palang Pracharat Party. So just to very quickly explain, if no one political party gets 50% of the vote plus one, then any of the parties can nominate an outside person to be the Prime Minister, and the two houses of Parliament can sit down and vote for a Prime Minister. They don't have to be an MP. The current Prime Minister is not an MP. With thanks to 5 Star Marine, if you're down in Phuket on a day like this, you may want to go out to one of the great islands off Phuket. So thanks to 5 Star Marine, a link in the description in the program. Also, while you're at it, just click that subscription button. It really does help, and I thank you for watching. You're watching TNT on the last day of the week, and to our next story, and this probably sounds all very sort of xenophobic. We're really just pointing out the change in the demographics of people visiting Thailand at the moment. This story from Phuket Go. The headline, Russian surge fuels Phuket's current tourism mix. So what's this all about? Well, it really comes down to two very simple infographics. On the left there, we've got the numbers coming to Phuket, and I should say, even though I've got these numbers for Phuket immigration, I imagine that the national perspective is probably much the same, give or take a few percent, but I think this is indicative of what might be happening, and I thought you might be interested. So on the left, May the 1st to October the 30th, and we can see that we've got the Indians as the, well, by a long way, the most numerous demographic coming to Thailand, followed by Australia, Singapore, Malaysia and the UK. So that was the scene for the first, some 6 months, May the 1st to October the 30th. And the chart also showed just a slow uptick of tourists as we went along. Then we go to the right side of this infographic, And we've got the numbers from November the 1st to November the 6th. And in first place, by a long, long way, are Russian arrivals, followed by the Indians, Australians, the UK, and then Germany. And down the bottom on both those charts, we've got the number of Thai people arriving during those periods. Now, on October the 30th, there was the highest number of arrivals for 2022, which was 7,701 people through immigration at the Phuket International Airport. Now, that number has pretty much sort of plateaued, although it's jumping up and down a bit, and it's remained steady right throughout the first week of November. Again, these are Phuket airport numbers, but I believe that they would be indicative around the country. So the number of Russian visitors more than double the second largest demographic Indian arrivals in Phuket at the moment. Now, without going into a whole lot of geopolitical issues, we do know that there's a lot of Russian people getting out of the country at the moment for various reasons. It's interesting, the countries that they're going to. Turkey and the Maldives are two of the most popular destinations for Russian travellers at the moment. Turkey's by far the most popular. But another infographic here, this might be interesting, the best performing destinations. So this is a list of the top 20 destinations in the world as far as the increase in tourism this year. It's not the total numbers of tourists, but it's showing the destinations that have got the largest increases of tourism numbers per capita since 2019. And the destination that's done the best is the Dominican Republic. And then we've got Turkey, Costa Rica, Mexico, Jamaica, and Pakistan. Interesting seeing Bangladesh and Pakistan performing in the top 10 as some of the higher performing tourist destinations over the past 12 months. Well, not the last 12 months, from the start of this year. Interesting though, as you go through that list, there are no Southeast Asian or North Asian destinations in that list at all. And that's pretty much because Asia was a bit late to the party in opening up post-COVID. So that is interesting. If you want to check out that, there's a link to that particular article in the description of this video. To our next story now, and we go to coconuts.co, and sniffer beagles bust tourists attempt to smuggle smoked bats at Suvarnabhumi Airport. Well, apologies if you're having your breakfast, lunch or dinner anywhere at the moment. Let's check out this story. There we've got the sniffer dogs, the beagles. I used to see these very often in Australia. Gee, even 20 years ago they used to use these little beagles to come around and sniff your luggage once you stepped off the aircraft. And there on the right, we've got those smoked bats. Don't look very appetising. A tourist from Kunming, China was caught trying to smuggle animal carcasses, including smoked bats, into Thailand. Apparently, the airport confiscated 2.5 kilograms of smoked bats. There was also some smoked pork and pork belly. And down the fourth paragraph there, the confiscation of animal parts is done to prevent potential epidemic outbreaks, such as African swine fever, and the inspections mainly focus on arrivals from China, Cambodia, Laos, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Vietnam. So if you are coming to Thailand, I think the moral of the story there is don't bring your smoked bats. To our next story, and Biden and Xi to discuss Taiwan trade and other issues in meeting next week. So no matter what your politics, I think we can all agree that it's a good idea to get the leaders of the two largest economies together face to face to have a chat at this time. Let's read more in this story. And it notes that the US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping will meet in person next Monday in Bali ahead of the G20 summit. They will discuss managing their country's competition and issues, including Taiwan on trade. Certainly, I do imagine that Taiwan will figure quite heavily in those important discussions. And up the top there, the US President believes it's critical to build a floor for the relationship and ensure that there are rules of the road that bound our competition. And down the bottom, Mr. Biden and Mr. Xi have not met in person since the US president took office in 2020, although they have spoken over the phone or video 5 times, most recently last July. China regards the island of Taiwan, one of the thorniest issues in US-China relations, as a renegade province to be reunited by force if necessary, as quoted by Xi Jinping, and has accused the US of upsetting the status quo. Meanwhile, Washington has criticised Beijing for holding provocative military activities such as drills and flybys near the island. These two have got plenty to discuss, so I hope they stay in that room for an extended period of time and try and nut out some of those issues and come out with a handshake. So that's happening next week. To another story, this is from the Pattaya News, and entertainment venue operators requesting Thai government to legally extend the opening hours and cancel afternoon alcohol sales ban. So this comes just a day after it's reported that the Energy Minister wants to shut down shopping centres and the nightlife early to save power. But we've now got these, entertainment operators saying, no, we want the venues to stay open till at least 4 a.m. legally. Noting that, of course, a lot of them are open till 4 a.m. and beyond anyway. Entertainment venue operators filed a letter to the Thai government requesting to legally open their venues until 4 a.m. and to cancel afternoon alcohol sales ban from 2 to 5 p.m. So over the years, I've tried to find out why convenience stores and other places don't sell alcohol from 2 to 5 p.m. It all seems a little bit draconian, a throwback to something, although over the years I've never actually got a solid answer as to exactly why the alcohol sales are banned between 2 and 5 p.m. Apparently it's something to do with schools and schools getting out between 2 and 5 p.m. and they don't want the kids sucking on a tinny as they go, that sounds so Australian, consuming alcohol on their way home, going to 7-Eleven and having a thick shake and a chang on the side. So the second paragraph there saying that the Thai Alcohol Beverage Business Association has filed a formal request. So it will be interesting to see what happens with the closing times. My gut feeling is probably nothing official will happen between now and the high season, but it doesn't really matter. All the bars are open until whenever they want to remain open. I don't think any tourists have complained that they haven't been able to get a beer at all hours of the night. And with that, I thank you for another week of TNT. Thanks for dropping in. It's been great having you with us, and I appreciate your support so much you can't even imagine. The channel's doing really well. We've got our live program tomorrow at 9 a.m, so we can get together and have a bit of a chat about some of the top issues this week and anything happening in the news today and tomorrow. Also on Sunday, we've got another video coming out. We'll have a video coming out every Sunday in the future now, and that'll be a hodgepodge of interesting information, interviews with people, and on this Sunday, talking about a charity with my old crazy shirts. So that's coming up on Sunday. But from everybody here, basically just me, thanks for watching TNT, and we will see you tomorrow live 9 a.m. Thai time.